All right, calls meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. That'll bring us to 2.0, agenda approval.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, that brings us to 3.0, the Community Impact Award. On a monthly basis, the board presents awards to student, staff, and members of the public in recognition of outstanding achievement in academics and service to the district and to the community. So I will step around here before we read the first one. Not doing it later. So the first one tonight is our Student Community Impact recipient. It goes to Sophie Marcel Godin. Sophie is a perfect example of a student who thrives in various learning environments. Her dual enrollment in St. Helens Virtual Academy and St. Helens High School showcases her dedication, focus, and determination to succeed. Known for her kindness, Sophie consistently supports her peers by sharing study habits, offering encouragement, and always being ready to help others succeed. Her creative, detailed notes, and her presence in the academics make her an exceptional student. Her influence on her classmates go beyond academics. She fosters harmony, listens attentively, and engages with enthusiasm in groups activities. Her willingness to be vulnerable and share personal experience in a humble way highlight her leadership skills and maturity. Sophie's team-oriented mindset and supportive nature makes her a standout among her peers. Outside of her academic achievements, Sophie is actively involved in various school activities. She's a committed member of the choir and Key Club, where she showcases her talents and has emerged as a dedicated volunteer and a featured leader. Her enthusiasm, kindness, and leadership make her an invaluable member of our school communities. Please join us in congratulating Sophie as a Student Community Impact Award recipient for October. And our second one is for Community Impact Award recipient. Our community member will be Paul Coca. Sorry, Paul. All right. For many years, Paul has been a vibrant force within the St. Helens community, leaving a lasting legacy through his artistic endeavors, his contributions to local culture. A proud alumni of St. Helens High School, Paul has come full circle, using his artistic talents to give back to alma mater in meaningful ways. At the heart of Paul's artistic journey lies his creation of the lion sculpture at the St. Helens High School. The symbolic sculpture embodying courage and creativity serves as an inspiration for both students as faculty, reminding them of the potential to overcome challenges and embrace their artistic pursuits. Paul's impact on the community also includes a beloved lion mural, which he completed a few years ago. The mural has become a cherished piece of art reflecting the pride of spirit of St. Helens community. With multimedia arts degree from Portland Community College, Paul showcases diverse artistic skills and dedication to the craft. His extensive career spans over 25 years as a key employee in the Michael Curry design, where he has contributed significantly to the high-profile projects that resonate with audiences. In addition to his artistic creations, Paul has authored, illustrated, and published 2 books, further promoting school spirit and pride through his work. His involvement in community art projects highlights his commitment to enhancing public spaces, making St. Helens more vibrant and visually appealing place to live. Paul's efforts have not only contributed to local culture, but have also inspired future artists in the community to pursue their creative endeavors. He hopes his work encourages young minds to explore their artistic potential and express themselves through various mediums. Please join us in congratulating Paul as the Community Impact Award recipient for October.
Paul, did your class ever, Paul, did your class ever lose a poster contest?
We've lost.
What year did you get? 90. Same as.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be in the same class.
Thank you very much.
They had some creative people in that class. Carol contest, whole company.
I get the chair that sinks.
Thank you, Sophia.
I'll go for it. Thank you, Sophia. Good job.
You're welcome to stay too.
Lots more coming.
All right. 4.0 visitors to address the board. And do we have any for non-agenda items?
None for that category. We'll have
So
one later.
there's none for non-agenda items. So at this point, we'll continue on to 5.0 consent agenda. The board on an individual basis prior to the meeting has reviewed all material. All financial reports are available for review by the public in the business office. The board considers consent agenda items routine business and will enact by the board in one motion. There will be no discussion on these items at the time the board votes on these motions unless members of the board, staff, or public request specific items to be discussed and or removed from the consent agenda.
Second. Oh, Trin got it. It was up kind of a microsecond.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. 6.0 new business, school reports.
Let's begin with our elementary school. Closest to the
Good evening. So, Sherry Martin, Principal at Lewis and Clark, and I wanted to share with you a few different things that we've been accomplishing so far this year. And so under the area of achievement, one of the things that we have been working for is to provide some opportunities for our kids who are part of our TAG program. And so we have been able to start some junior great books clubs for them, as well as a chess and math club. And so we're excited to give that extension to kids who need that little bit of extra extension. And as far as belonging, we are looking forward to our 4th and 5th grade classes are doing a family game night. And so that is coming up, and they've got stations in each classroom encouraging families to be able to come and participate together, and that includes their siblings, extended family. So we're looking very forward to that. We are also getting ready for all of our intermediate grades, so 3rd, 4th, and 5th are looking forward to having a music program coming up, and so that will be in December. And so there's a lot of excitement about preparing for that. Our primary kids will be doing one in the spring. As far as for our community, our 4th grade is currently planning to partner with Columbia River PUD using a program called the Monster Detective Collective. And it's a 1-hour program that teaches students about energy. So we're really excited for them to be able to partner and do that. One of the things we're working on are behavior supports. We're using our RTI solution tree that we've been working with as a district and really talking about how do we support kids where they're at and making sure that not only are they academically successful, but as far as behaviorally, that they are having success in the classroom, and all those things are coming together and we're really meeting the whole child. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Allison Dubuque, I'm the principal at McBride Elementary. I wrote down some notes today, but start with some things that are, I didn't do the same thing as Sheree. I don't have it in the ABCs, but 2 things that we are excited about and are glows for us, our excitement, and then 1 thing we're working on. So our family engagement, I think right out of the gate at McBride has been really strong this year. I think in no small part to the work that we do in the morning, welcoming our families on campus, to increasingly getting more participation for our Grandparents' Day events. We had 263 folks arrive on that day, and so that was really nice to have that awesome high number of participation. We switched the format up a little bit and had address to the group at the end to kind of bring everybody together. And there was so much excitement about being in classrooms that I probably had about 50 folks in the cafeteria with me. Most of the folks just wanted to be in classrooms with their kids, and that's totally understandable. That's why they're there. So I didn't take it as a slight. It was pretty awesome. We had our family fun night last night, and we celebrated Charlotte's Web, which is a great book full of lots of really important themes. We had a pig that came to the event. I had a student that requested that we serve bacon. We did not have bacon at the event. We had pizza and popcorn. We did have Canadian bacon, but 320 plus folks, 321, I think, counting Carl Sumption, who did not sign in, but we will take him on that list. So really excited about the participation, and in addition to that, our book fair, which is ongoing, we'll be finishing that tomorrow. Not sure what our proceeds are, but it's been really fun to watch the kids walk down the hallways with these brand new books on Minecraft or name the thing. It's just been really cool. Big book on tarantulas and sharks yesterday too. So lots of traffic in there. The next glow, this last Monday we finished our MTSS meetings we've met now with every single one of our grade level teams, and really been able to talk about each and every child in our building that's coming up that's needing support and intervention. So that's been a really powerful tool. One of the things we're noticing is that our teachers want more time with our MTSS teams, and so I'm trying to find creative ways within our schedule to be able to do that, so that we can talk about the academic supports and the behavior supports that we need to be helping our students and families through. So that's been really a powerful move. And when people want more, you want to give them more time together. So I'm really excited to see that. It's good. It's a good trajectory we're on. One thing we're working on, last week I had an opportunity to go to Behavior Solutions with the St. Helens team, and we brought back, we went last year, and it was great, and I was a new principal, and there were a lot of things that I was excited about, but a lot of things I realized that I kind of missed the boat on. So we are refining this year, going back to that tier 1 and making sure that our core behavior essential standards for academics and social are aligned and they represent what we want. We adopted last year pride at St. Helens, so personal responsibility, respect, integrity, determination, and excellence, and how does that show up for us in all the areas that came out of that work at Behavior Solutions. So now it's about refinement. What does that mean for each classroom? And what are the key strategies that each classroom is able to kind of tie into that's really going to make this come alive? And then the internal communication structures that we have as teams to make sure that we're getting timely intervention in with kids. So it's refinement at this point for Tier 1, which is awesome. It's a great thing to be working on. So any questions for me about McBride tonight? All right, Martine, you're up.
Good evening. I'm Martine Barnett, principal of Columbia City Elementary. We have made a shift in our Wednesdays where we were doing Lodge every Wednesday. We decided to incorporate some school-wide lessons focused on social emotional learning one Wednesday a month. So we just did that today, and this is helping us align with the new state standards for transformative social emotional learning, and we're really focused on incorporating conscious discipline at that time. So today we had a school-wide lesson on the time machine, which if you haven't had a training from Michelle Tulloch on that, it's a process to help children with problem solving. To kind of step back in time, how could we handle the situation differently so we don't have hurt feelings or injuries, and it went incredibly well from what I heard from teachers, and one of our kindergarten teachers even put the time machine mat, which is just a mat that's laid on the floor that has the steps of problem solving laid out on it so the kids can physically walk through the steps together. She put it out during their free choice time, and she had 6 kindergartners who chose their free choice time to problem solve with one another and put it into action right away. So that was exciting to see. We also have found an unexpected positive in our music teacher is also our STEAM teacher. And with that being the same person, she's been able to align some of her lessons and make stronger connections through different content media for our students. So, for example, spiders are a topic we've been talking about in October, and so able to align the music that they're singing around spiders with art projects involving spiders today. And I saw kids leaving the building trailing these little spiders behind them in the hall singing their song, which was awesome to see. And we know that that really helps reinforce concepts for kids when they're experiencing it in different content areas. Something that we're working on is an aligned strategic goal setting for our teachers so that we are having common goals that we're working on for their professional development and their student growth goals for the year. And in doing that, in aligning those goals, teachers are going to be better able to support one another in the work and the strategies that they're trying. For example, we have one that's involving using Avid collaboration strategies this year. So that'll allow teachers to collaborate in that, and then also allows me to be more strategic in my observations and feedback when I'm looking for similar things in classrooms rather than everybody working on their own goal and trying to support all of those different things. We'll be able to align our PD for teachers on Wednesdays as well to help support those goals. So we're really excited about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
School board. Chris William, principal at the middle school. A big highlight that I'm excited to share with you is the work that we've done with these model PLCs and the ASCD and how we've taken that work as leaders and kind of helped develop our teachers and their ability to run PLCs, or PLTs as we call them here. Right now, we have every Monday our grade level teams, so all of 6th grade, all of 7th grade, all of 8th grade come together, and they sit around a big round table, and they run a very structured, very strengths-based discussion of behavior of our students. And at that table, before they begin, they're given some very clear data, something we call notes on students, as well as they're given attendance data, referral data, and other well-packaged information so that they can have really data-driven conversations that are strengths-based about designing interventions for students who are struggling with behavior. I'm so impressed the way our staff have embraced this model and the structure. They love it, and the outcomes for kids are what's really amazing, and it's working very well. Right now, we've done 4 weeks, and 4 weeks is a cycle in our PLT where if students aren't showing improvement by the end of 4 weeks, then they get to be referred up to our MTSS team, where we do a little more intensive looking at outside supports like Tier 2 and Tier 3 supports for kids. So we have a couple that have risen to that level, and next week we'll be looking at how to support them. But we're going to model this with our 6th grade team. Our leadership team has kindly asked that our 6th grade group put on not a demo, but actually run a live version of this so they can look in and watch. And I'd love to invite anybody from the board who would like to do that next week with us. I believe it's Tuesday of next week, around Tuesday, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. So that's great work that's happening. I'm very proud of our staff for the way they've implemented this, taking it very seriously. The next thing I'd like to highlight is our work with Avid. Today was our professional development day around Avid focused note-taking. It's our school-wide goal for this year for Avid, and it's to basically make sure 85% of our students are highly proficient at a focused note-taking model, which is an Avid strategy that's very effective, and it's a way of taking notes that allows students to process them, summarize them, and really use them to help them succeed. And so we trained our staff today. It was an excellent PD run by our Avid site team, our Avid site coordinator. And that was well received. And so you can expect that our students now, during our focus class, are going to receive several Avid lessons on how to do focused note-taking. And then we're going to start branching that out of our focus class and into our content area classes, where in science or in math, they'll actually develop their own focused note-taking model that they'll train the is obviously modeled after the 5 phases that Abbott prescribes. So we're excited about that work. And then lastly, a highlight is our clubs have begun at St. Helens Middle School. So every Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 4 p.m., we are operating art club, game club, chess club, organ battle of the books, fiber arts club, which is in our media center, run by our librarian or media assistant. Homework club on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then cornhole club. So those are our current clubs in operation. We're still looking for more staff or community members who want to volunteer and run a club on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But it was a packed house on our first night, and it was. We're looking forward to tomorrow night being a very busy evening there too after school, and that's my report.
Thanks.
Good evening, Katie Wagner, principal at St. Helens High School. I want to start with a couple of upcoming events. We have November 8th and 9th. We are excited to have our fall opening night for Peter and the Starcatcher, which is the first production to be done in the auditorium since before COVID. So we would like to invite all of you to come. So opening night is November 8th, and we have a lot of students that have just put themselves out there to try something new and to get out on stage. And we're really excited to see all of the work and dedication that both our staff and our students have put into preparing for this event. So very happy about that. Also, this coming weekend is homecoming, so we have the theme of Greece. We've had a couple of different dress-up days. There's school spirit days. We've had tomorrow is actually fraternity, sorority, and then it's going to be Greek versus a greaser, right? So the 50s greasers versus the Greeks. So we're having a couple of those. So it's been a fun week. And then thinking back a little bit, a couple of weeks ago, we had our Think Pink week, and that's part of our service organization work that we ended up collecting $1,342 through donations, through the 5K race we organized, through t-shirts and blanket sales, and all of that money is being donated to Columbia Health Services in the name of one of our teachers who has been impacted by breast cancer, Jessica Blount. So we're very excited our community rallied around that and we were able to make that donation. So upcoming this next Tuesday is our College and Career and Testing Day. So that's on Tuesday, October 29th. That is the day that ACT says we have to administer the test because we do it on paper and pen or pencil for our 12th graders. That's also the day that all of our 10th graders take the state standardized pre-ACT that all 10th graders throughout the state of Oregon take. And then our 11th graders, we use that as an opportunity to involve our local community businesses and entrepreneurs and organizations to have a career speaker series. So that's going to be held in the Commons. It's starting with our partnership with Inroads with our financial reality fair. And then we have speakers from H&R Block, the National Guard, Hoffman Construction, Columbia Health Services, Therapeutic Associates, Michael Curry Design, Adidas, International Entrepreneurs, Mountain Ski Patrol, paramedics, so a lot of different career clusters will come. Students also do a reflection, which is their career-related learning experiences, which meets one of their graduation requirements. So we want to make it meaningful, but also give them connections to local business owners and different careers that they may be interested to explore. Our 9th graders, we've tried a couple of different approaches with our 9th graders over the last 3 years that we've done this activity. And I'm most excited about the planning that has been done with our 9th graders and students in special programs as well. So we wanted to be very inclusive about any students that tend to be in more self-contained classrooms. So we decided to make all of our 9th grade activity be in alignment with sources of strength. So we have our sources of strength team that is helping plan all of this along with our PE and health teachers, because we recognize that physical health is one of those sources of strength that is in that wheel. So during that day, we had asked all of our 9th graders and students in special programs to complete a survey to let us know where where do you think you're at in your physical health? And how active are you? And are you in a PE class? And what is your level of comfort in doing any kind of physical activity in large groups? Because we know we have some students that are very athletic, ready to run a mile any chance they can get, others that are very averse to that. So we want to respect all of those different ability levels and experience and interest. And so the team took all of that survey data, sorted students out, so they will all come into the gym, and they will go through different rotations of different physical activities and games, and really build a community around physical health and connect that sources of strength. So all of that happens before lunchtime, and then we break for lunch. All students return to their enrichment class, where they do a short lesson around some life skill activity, which comes through our Wayfinder program. And some of those include, how do you write an email? How do you address an envelope? How do you change a tire? Like, there's different videos that are just fun life skills, but things that are really important and meaningful. So we'll do that, and then the second part of that section is running 2 separate intervention classes. So students have an opportunity to go to 2 different teachers in preparation for the end of the quarter to get some additional assistance. So we have a full day planned where all students are engaged in different activities that meet their need. Our seniors have the option to take either the ASVAB or the ACT. So depending on what their direction is, the ASVAB is not just for military anymore, but it really helps give some guidance around what careers you may be interested in and gives you a full report. So lots of really great information and ways for every single student to be engaged at school that entire day from 8:20 to 3:20. And then to kind of tag along to the ASCD or response to intervention work that we've been doing, our Avid site team and our guiding coalition have done an amazing job putting together a WICR tracker, and WICR is Writing, Inquiry, Collaboration, Organization, and Writing. And this is a tool designed to be used for teachers to get into other teachers' classrooms and mark down, are you using at least 3 WICR strategies and student talk, which is part of our 5D evaluation tool, in every class period. And just taking some notes, but using that as feedback to colleagues, and then also reflecting on how to improve our own practices. So that team is really focusing on helping our colleagues learn from each other and value each other as professionals and continue to grow as a team. And then our student intervention team has also been working incredibly hard at our Tier 2 student identification tool. So we've been revising it a little bit to make it more accessible for teachers to make referrals for students that may be struggling with social and academic behaviors, and get them access to additional supports quicker than previously. So building out those systems and making sure that we're addressing the needs of students at all of those tiered levels. So I'm very proud of a lot of the work that we've been doing. Chris mentioned about the ASCD work. Our language arts teachers and our math teachers came together as secondary teams and did a lot of work around essential standards and pacing guides. And we've got a lot of incredible forward momentum happening around this work, particularly at the secondary level. So very excited about that.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How does a kid with an alpaca do a ducktail?
Oh, am I gonna
It's
get
greaser
praised
day.
here?
Greaser day, you know,
Oh, okay.
how does a kid with an alpaca haircut do a ducktail? I mean, that's a
You might
problem
have to
you're
ask
gonna
some
have
of our
to
students
solve
here.
for your kids. They can look those up. Today, they shave the side of their head. In the old days, we put Vaseline on the rat tail comb and went like this on the sides and combed it behind their head, so.
Were you a greaser back then? Is that what you're saying? He was a
Where
real.
that movie came
I know, I just had to ask you that because, you know, we're so serious in here that, but anyway.
Now we need to find a picture of Bill back in the day.
Might be in a yearbook.
No, it was long before that.
Before they made them?
Anyway, I just thought I'd.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Keith.
All right. That will bring us to 6.2, St. Helens High School pickup and drop off. we put that on there because you wanted to discuss that.
Well, but then the next week, one of the parking lots was open, so things have been a little bit better, but I do find that, there's definitely staff needed at crosswalks and for students to maintain on sidewalks, and that there's just a lot happening, and it still feels like a dangerous scenario that could possibly happen. But I definitely appreciate the back parking lot, upper parking lot
So
being
that has-
open.
That's helped a little bit.
Yeah, it moves it up, which is great. It just depends on where students are and with them walking the whole campus.
I have noticed 2 students almost get hit in the last 2 weeks at the crosswalk on the Safeway when lights blinking and all that. And I just point at the driver and stuff, trying to honk. But I was wondering if they could do like a rumble strip before there, like to kind of remind them, hey, there's just crosswalk there or something.
There's been so much control on the cars.
Yeah,
Now that the cars have a little more leeway, maybe we pull it back and focus on students,
that too.
their direction.
Because that was one of the things I was going to say is that I've just watched so many of the kids, they don't pay attention whether that light's even on or not. They just start walking. And it's on a lot of times and they keep going. And so then the cars never get to go at all. And then there's the other times when they just walk out.
The 2 I've seen, they've hit the button, waited, and then crossed. And there's the cross, they're coming down Gable. They're just like driving, not paying attention. And it's.
So now that those 2 lots are open, is there a way to start like controlling which direction we turn in so that we're having less of this cross traffic getting stuck? So for instance, if you're coming up Gable towards Highway 30, then you use the back lot and then you go back down Gable. That way you're not creating some of that extra traffic at the other entrance. And then if you're coming off of Highway 30 into Gable, turning left into the other thing, we just turn right again to leave that way. And it would reduce the amount of traffic across.
There's the least amount of left turns on Gable as
I'd
possible.
say right turn only, yeah.
So if you
You're
do
leaving
that,
that
then you would
parking lot,
remove.
you
Any
take
parking lot,
right
yeah.
Yeah.
And head down Gable rather than up Gable.
Yeah, I think we can try. I did reach out to the city to do a study and was promptly told that that's county. So.
Actually.
The city
they handed
adopted
over
that
to the
road
city,
that
They
it-
took it.
The city took that road from the county. That's not a
Yeah,
city
the
road.
minute that grant was done and that
We'll
road
reach
was
back out.
redone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They even took the area between
Yes,
Gable
they-
and Sites, the improved Columbia. with
There's
the
only one piece.
safe
It's from
schools
Columbia
route.
Boulevard or Whitetail to the top of the hill at Summit is the only piece that's half county and half city left. The rest of it got given to the city the minute that the grant was done and the road was redone. So somebody needs to get updated that the city owns it.
I understand it a lot before you too.
So if they, right now we go up and depends on which way we think people are going to go, but the upper parking lot up by Building BC, it seems like if you're going in the one where we now go in, it kind of creating cross traffic. I don't know which way is worse, but.
Is there a reason why we don't want them going through the main parking lot now? Where students park, but they could still be exiting, taking the left on Furlock and going
By
south.
the gym entrance.
Right, because we do it for everything else, just not in the morning and not at pickup.
Yeah, I don't know, I'd have to ask.
There's buses there,
Is construction
Right.
still blocking?
like right in front of
Not
the
really.
Yeah, that's usually
the building is buses.
you usually try to separate buses from
Cars.
cars.
Are they staying along the gym or are they pulling up near the traffic courts and entering from the back?
Sure.
The buses are pulled up right up against like the auditorium entrance, but they'll pull in that same entrance, like over by where that crosswalk is.
Don't they still,
Traffic schools are right along with the.
I don't know about this week, but are they still looping around then and coming back out to Gable on hanging a right? Because I watched them do that too.
Not the front part of the school.
No, I'm talking about if the bus goes in by the gym area, then when they're leaving, they're pulling a loop and coming back out to Gable and hanging a right. Still,
It's still just a cluster,
And it always will.
especially a long bus. It's really hard.
I think no matter what, with the McDonald's entrance, the Safeway entrance,
People trying to turn.
the kids coming from McDonald's coming around, going up the sidewalk, it's always going to be, it's no matter what, it's gonna be,
Just is what it is.
But the less we have turning around and using that intersection, like if we could exit onto Furlock and get the people that are heading to work out of there.
oh yeah, going right,
Yeah, they're gonna just go right to Portland.
Go out for a lot, but hang a right rather than taking a left.
Yeah, it's the guy that goes out for a lot that wants to take a left back.
Yeah, that was
off the highway, yeah.
The best way to solve the problem is close
I'll drive
McDonald's
all the
from
way
seven
around.
45 to 8:30.
Just whatever we can do to be, like, help the community in this process would be good.
I have meetings, construction meetings at the high school quite often during lunchtime. And I do see monitors at lunch trying to, work on the flow of kids going back and forth.
I think typically dealing with students and not traffic, especially at crosswalks. 'Cause those are wild.
Seen them at the crosswalks, like getting a bunch together, then hitting the crosswalk,
Have
getting a
you
bunch, yeah,
recently?
Yeah,
yeah, because
but if they would do it that way, it would.
I
it's
mean,
way better.
today, I had a
Not
kid
every
come
day,
punch the
but-
light, and the lights
I've never
blinked and
Uh,
yeah. The blinking lights work if the kid pushes the button.
yeah, but I've seen where like she'll get a bunch together and then hit the light and then get them over and then get a
Instead
bunch
of
together,
just
hit
going
the
and
light.
going and going, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then if a car starts to go, then someone just starts again.
Yeah.
So definitely a take turn.
Ongoing.
You can ask Allison, because we wait with all the kids in a group like that now at McBride, and it goes 100 times better when we don't have them just walking out and going in between cars and being crazy.
We
Would
see
that be
it.
helpful to have somebody on both sides? Because I think there's only like one monitor on like the school side, there's nobody on the other side. So when you're exiting from Safeway.
That's what I did.
I'm on call.
Just pinging.
I'm on call for my normal work job, so that's why it's pinging in. All right, it's done. All right, any more discussion on that?
Good,
All
Kelly.
right.
Yeah.
All right, 6.3 superintendent reports.
Yeah. So we got 3 items today. The first one is the OCA contract that you will hopefully be approving here as an action item. I did want to highlight some of the key areas in it. And first, it was really a pretty productive negotiation. I think people have visions when you talk about contract negotiations where there's dark rooms and people are facing off and, angry looks and words are exchanged. That's not really how we do it. We work together to try to come up with the best packages, the best plans, compensation for staff. So first piece, it's a 3-year contract, which that's nice because then we can do other things besides worrying about working on a contract negotiation. Probably the most important part is the salary piece. As the years have gone by, and for whatever reason, when we've added years to the steps or different categories, it appears that it was kind of random. So if you were, and I'm just going to use an example, if you're a custodian, between year 2 and 3, you might have received a 25-cent raise. But if you were an instructional assistant between years 2 and 3, you might receive a $1 raise. And so they were all kind of out of sync. And then between year 3 and 4, you might get 25-cent raise. And between year 4 and 5, you would get a $1 raise. So things were off. We worked last year, or the last negotiation, of trying to smooth it out. And this go around, what we tried to do is make sure there was a consistent 4% in between each step. And then we added 1 more year. We did that for a variety of reasons. One, if you're at year 7, which is what we had before, and you worked in our district for 20 years, you haven't seen an additional pay raise besides a COLA step, cost of living step. So we added a column 8. So that gave everybody an extra step. We did that because we are wanting to mitigate some of the pay variances that were created with inflation that we saw. Thankfully, inflation's come down to some degree. But by adding that extra step and then adding, we have a 4% COLA, 4% cost of living increase, and then a 3%. That moves everybody forward. We also went through and made some specific changes for positions. We had multiple categories of instructional assistants. We included them into 2 different categories. I changed the name a little bit, calling them educational assistants and special educational assistants. And prior to this past year, we just felt like we weren't, number one, paying folks for the work that they were doing like we'd want to. So this has helped move them into a more competitive salary. It also helps us compete with other outside organizations. So we've moved that up. We've moved multiple areas up so we can compete. It just doesn't feel good if we have staff members working with kids that can make more money working at McDonald's. So we've tried to adjust that so that isn't the case. So we're really, actually, I think pretty pleased. I hope I see some of our members feel good about the outcomes there. The next piece on here is the future technology and impact on classified staff. As we all know, everything, I think, including your cereal now has artificial intelligence on there to help sell it, right? But there's many programs coming out that are utilizing AI technology, tutoring, scripting, things that may impact our employees. And so in the contract, we put a clause that if AI significantly impacts our work, we'll negotiate to come up with a fair resolution for our staff. So we felt that was a pretty responsible thing to put in the contract. And then the last thing, we added Article 31, safe working conditions. If you read the news at all, you know that some of our staff members get hit, some get punched, bit, as they're trying to protect our kids, and as they're trying to keep all children safe. So we put this in here just to kind of outline expectations, what we'll do as a district to support them, and what they can expect and how they can be safe. So felt like that was a good item that we wanted to include. So that, kind of a quick nutshell, is the 49-page document. All other items in here haven't significantly changed. I think those are the highlights. So it was a good negotiation, and I'm glad that it's done. So hopefully you will see it to be approved. The next is the cell phone survey, and that was pushed out yesterday. So just going out yesterday, we've had 104 staff members already respond, 310 students respond, and 259 parents or guardians respond. So within one day, 24 hours, we've had 673 responses.
It's pretty good.
Seems
I haven't
pretty.
even seen the email yet.
Pardon me?
I haven't even opened the email yet.
You haven't even got it yet. So wanted to report that. And then the final item, this is the annual Division 22 report, all the laws and rules that we have to follow as school district. It's a pretty standard document. We've reviewed it every year. It goes onto our webpage. If the community wants to review it, essentially it lists the rule and then whether you're in compliance or not. We're essentially in compliance for every item. The one area that many schools struggle with for compliance is around curriculum and curriculum adoption. And we feel pretty good over the last 5 years. We've got ourselves on that curriculum adoption cycle and are actually in really pretty good shape along those lines. So that is the Division 22 standards. And with that, leave my report.
Can I ask you a quick question on that? Is there, because that's been a subject or a topic that's happened so many times over all the years that I've been on the board, is there anything that a school district can do, not just policy-wise, but even rules from a school board itself, let's say our current one, that puts in place that You couldn't have another superintendent, you couldn't have another board come in and not do that. Not stay on that regular cycle, instead of it being a choice of theirs to not do that.
Yeah, I think you can try, I'm not sure, because the next board then would come in and change the rules. The challenge is, for a single adoption, it's well over $500,000 just for the materials. And so when you're in a difficult budgetary time, that's a pretty easy thing to say, well, we just won't buy math books this year. We have math books. So, and what happens is then you don't buy them for 7 years and then another 7 years, right?
Yeah.
We've all watched that happen in this district. So I think what we need to do is just, as a board and as a school district, part of our culture that it's a priority and quality materials are what help drive instruction. And so the best chance for our teachers to teach our students and have them succeed, and the best chance for our students to succeed is to have the best materials available. So just, it's in the budget, and that's how we do it. So there really isn't, a great answer to, yep, we can lock it in. But I think as a board, making that a priority, budget committee, when they work, that's a priority. You put them someplace else and kind of not the curriculum. But yeah, it's been, we were 20 plus years, and it's sadly, that's not uncommon.
No.
But now we're back on track.
All right. So it brings us to 7.0 action items, but shouldn't 7.0 and 8.0 be switched? Usually don't we do visitors address the board for agenda items and then do action items? Or am I off tonight?
No, that's correct.
I think that's usually the way it is.
We had to put the action item in.
Somebody want to move to switch the numbers?
Yes.
Your prerogative.
What's that?
You can exercise your prerogative.
Well, we do have people to address the board on agenda items, so I'd like to hear that before we do
Totally
it.
amend
It
it.
is not the action item topic if you want to.
Oh, okay, it is not the action item.
Oh.
Okay, so we'll just leave it like it is then.
Right.
So 7.1, approve 2024-2027 St. Helens School District and Oregon School Employee Association Agreement.
I move that we accept action item 7.1.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that brings us to 8.0, visitors to address the board. This is the time for public comment on agenda items. The board will not take any immediate action, but will refer concerns to superintendent and ask him to report to the board. We appreciate you keeping your comments to 3 minutes per individual or 5 minutes if you're representing a group of patrons. Please note, under Oregon Revised Status, personnel concerns will not be discussed in a public meeting. If you have any concerns with the school district personnel, please schedule a meeting with the superintendent. We have one from Logan. Yep, and it's cell phone use.
Actually here, Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Logan Gilbert-Renner. I'm an instructional assistant, or educational assistant at McBride Elementary, as well as our secretary for OSEA Chapter 31. While I hold these roles tonight, I'm speaking as an individual, sharing my personal perspective on cell phone use in our schools. We know the concerns well. Cell phones can be a distraction, pulling students away from face-to-face interaction and the task at hand. I've seen it myself in the classrooms. Students glued to their screens instead of engaging in learning. The statistics are clear. Unrestricted use can affect attention spans and classroom performance. It's easy to understand why the instinct might be to ban them altogether, out of genuine desire to protect our students and their education. But if we focus solely on the fear of what might go wrong, we run the risk of failing to prepare our students for the world they'll face after they leave the classrooms. And that's a fear that worries me more. The reality is, in the workplace, there are no blanket bans on cell phones. Adults are expected to manage their time, use technology responsibly, and know when to engage with it and when to put it aside. If we don't teach our students these skills now, If we take their phones away without showing them how to use them effectively, we're doing them a disservice. We're sending them into the world unprepared. Imagine a future workforce where people are unable to balance technology with their productivity, unable to separate useful information from misinformation, and unequipped to manage the constant flow of digital communication. We need to ask ourselves, are we really helping our students by removing phones entirely, or are we just delaying an inevitable learning curve? Instead of letting the fear drive our decisions, what if we saw this as an opportunity to teach responsible use? Imagine a classroom where students instinctively know when to use their devices for learning and when to set them aside, where smartphones become tools for accessing educational resources, exploring new ideas, and even engaging in creative projects. By teaching our students to manage their devices now, we're preparing them for success beyond the classrooms. This doesn't mean a free-for-all approach. It means clear guidelines, strong digital literacy education, and a partnership with parents to ensure that students are learning how to use technology responsibly, both in and out of school. Ultimately, the goal isn't to ignore the potential distractions or pretend the challenges don't exist. It's about striking a balance that ensures our students aren't just avoiding distractions. They're also learning how to thrive in a world where technology is everywhere. And that's the kind of preparation I believe we owe them. Thank you.
Thank you. That was the only one? Okay.
He said it for those guys.
Yes, he did. All right, 9.0, upcoming meeting input for the regular board meeting.
I have several things. Do you want me to email to you?
I was gonna say, so do I.
Okay. I really appreciated everyone coming and talking about behavior, and that has been a really much talked about subject. So I think it would be really good to have the teams come together and show us what you're doing and explain some more of those details to us. Let's see, the behavior solutions especially, and the ones that where behavior affects the learning environment. And then with that, if we could go over standards and practices, background checks, and how that works with the individuals that are working with our students, and just what that looks like.
That's actually mostly what, similar.
And I have one more. Transportation, if there's a way we can support that at the elementary schools with clubs and activities to get home.
So the teams kind of heard the discussion about our guides, all those components. Having a case study, neutral case study that's not a real example would be helpful to kind of see the different pathways. The interventions and how, from like best case scenario to worst case scenario, and what happens in between those two stages.
You got anything you want to add? Next meeting?
That was-
We'll let you.
And that'll be for all three levels, right?
Yes,
It will be now.
So like the elementary, middle, and then secondary.
but not, all three may not be all at the same stage.
Sure. But I would like to see where we're at and how we're aligning and then how those alignments work throughout.
Can't do anything else.
Volunteer numbers. I'd like to hear more about how many people are asking to come into our schools and where we're at with that.
Actually, I think we're due for data in general. We could do tardies across the board. Our on track area is for freshman year and maybe seniors.
Yes, and I'm hesitating because I'd like to wrap that into our strategic plan, so we report on that, and we get that information. The other piece that I think would be important, well, you mentioned attendance, right? Attendance parties, I think that needs to be a pretty big push on our end.
Gosh, that was the same thing I brought up today.
All right. Nothing else?
Be a good meeting.
Yeah, keep it busy.
Okay, I'll bring the turkey. Who's bringing the cranberry sauce? We're
It's
gonna
on
need
the
it.
13th.
I know,
Although
but
I have
we
my
might,
Christmas cup already.
but if we're gonna be here a long time, we might need to have it, you know.
All right, 10.0. All right, that is it. Thanks everybody for coming.